Welcome to Iconically Iconic.
Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video, it's going to be a podcast style video, like most breakdowns will be from now on, which will be discussing Robin from the movie Waiting to Exhale. So let's get into it. Now, Robin was a beautiful mess who didn't seem to know her worth. Robin was a beautiful, educated woman who had issues being alone, which I'm sure stems from childhood issues like not having a relationship with her dad, a loving father figure in her life, and an example of a healthy, loving marriage or relationship. Robin had it all: beauty, intelligence, but when it came to the men she dated, she made horrible decisions. She placed the needs of men above her own. She would have all kinds of red flags waving in her face, but would ignore it because she wanted what a lot of women want, which was to be married and have children. And when women reach a certain age, especially in the 90s and 2000s, you were somehow considered strange or damaged goods if you weren't married. It didn't matter if you were with a no good for nothing dirtbag bum who only had crumbs and ate up all the food and snacks in your house and played couch cover to your couch. As long as you could say you were married or had some form of a man, then you were seen as valuable, which is ridiculous. And some people tend to forget that not all women want to be married and not all women want to have children and live very happy lives, okay? Having children and being married doesn't somehow make you more happy than a person who is single and unmarried. Sometimes a lot of married people are very miserable, and some people still have this pathetic, desperate, no self-love mindset. But Robin, though she had it all, felt like she had to settle for less, and also not having a positive male role model in your life to guide you and teach you what to accept and not accept in your life plays a major role in how you navigate relationships. So Robin decides to give the guy she worked with a chance, and I honestly still don't understand why or how they even got to that point. Why, Robin? Just why? First off, dealing with someone you work with is not smart at all. Things tend to go awry and then the workplace becomes toxic. It's just never a good idea in my opinion. Anyways, Robin decides to sleep with Michael, and right out the gate, this man irritated me coming out the bathroom cha-chaing. Like, sir, please have several seats, okay? Robin gives up her goods to this man. Oh, Robin. Robin gives up her goods to this man and again places her needs above a man. Not only is she not physically attracted to this man, but in his big age, he didn't even know how to please her. And this is an issue so many women have with not being vocal with their partner. How can someone improve their skill or know whether or not they're pleasing you when you're faking it or making him feel as if he is doing something when the only one he's pleasing is himself? And lasts about a minute and 30 seconds. Then, after she gave the fake nice guy a chance, he started feeling himself, and it's because she put him in the position to. Some men will fake the funk and play nice until they get what they want. And he was one of those guys, and it's because he knew he couldn't get with women like Robin on the regular. And it made him feel like he was the man, which was a major mistake Robin made. I do think that Robin did think that because he wasn't normally someone she would go for and because she was above his level, that he would somehow worship her and treat her like some princess or queen because she knew that she was out of his league. But instead, he did the opposite, which most men like him tend to do. All she needed to hear were false promises from men, and she would fall right into their trap. And it's a problem for a lot of women. Sometimes as women, we start imagining weddings, fairy tales, and what could be rather than what it is and what's right in our face, and feed into delusions about the future, instead of being realistic and observing the actions, and if they follow through with what they said they would do and be a man of their word. We just sometimes ignore reality and go into fairy tale land, and it's where a lot of women make mistakes. Robin made horrible choices in men because of her fear of being alone, never feeling real love, and what it's like to be cared for. She didn't mind playing the side piece to a married man because she felt in that moment she was better than the wife, or finally chosen over someone else.
Pajamas. Now that's the first time you ever asked for those. Russell, did you sleep with her?
I can't take coming here being pressured about what I'm doing with my own wife.
Well, you know we're not gonna have very much time to spend together.
But she was just the dumping ground for these men to use her emotionally and physically, and then when they were done with her, they would go right back to their wives or women who weren't Robin. And Robin was a woman willing to compromise and wanted to be a traditional wife when she got married. She was kind and loving, but what ran men away was her desperation and how she didn't value herself. She loved a project and wanted to be the one to help men elevate or better themselves, and it was for worthless men. You can't fix or change someone who doesn't want to change. And more specifically, a man will change for the woman he wants to change for. You can't nag or complain into making someone change for you. They have to want to do that willingly on their own. Like when women constantly speak about marriage and when are you going to marry me? When are you going to propose to me? What it does is turn the man off. And if he wants to marry you, he will marry you. If he wants to propose, he will do so. You can't force someone or try to nag someone into doing something, because what it does is make them do the opposite, or when you're trying to leave, they'll give you a shut up ring. Oh, just take this so you can stay with me, but I don't really want to marry you. And you end up wasting a bunch of years with that person because you accepted it. Her previous relationship caused her a lot of pain, and to move in a way that she had become a bit cold towards women who were once in her situation, being cheated on, and instead of avoiding these men, she became their side piece or situationship. But ultimately, the very thing she didn't want to happen, which was getting hurt, would end up happening. Something I want to talk about really briefly is I hate how some people make it seem as though having bad relationships is some rite of passage in order to have a successful one. Not everyone gets cheated on, not everyone gets disrespected and tolerates that behavior from their significant other. I know from a very young age, my mother and father instilled in me to never put up with lies, excuses, and disrespect from anyone, let alone a man, regardless of how much you love them. Because if someone really loves and values you, they would never disrespect or hurt you. Now, getting into a few arguments or a few spats or disagreements is one thing, but disrespect and hurting the person that you love and care for is not love. Robin was a woman who had to learn the hard way when it came to men. It didn't matter what her friends or family told her. She had to find out for herself. She didn't want to give people the satisfaction of being right, but in the end, she would only hurt herself and was like a glutton for punishment. Like with that crusty, musty, dusty, funky Troy, a man she met in the supermarket and didn't know anything about, and decides to attend a party with him like a complete stranger, and come to find out he's a drug and quite possibly stole her wallet, wanting to take her to meet his mother when he barely knew her. Red flag, major red flag, but I'm glad she came to her senses and read him for filth as he deserved.
Troy, take your drunk ass, leather wearing in the summertime, need a shave, stinky ass home.
I think Robin needed to be single for a while and to focus on her needs, what she liked, and how she needed to be loved, and therapy for her past, and to understand that she was worth all of the things that she was asking for. I think she would have made a great wife to a man who valued her, but you can't expect a good partner when you're putting out low values and aren't being the example of how people should treat you. You can't jump from one bad relationship into the next one just to say you have someone. Being afraid to be single is a problem because you end up picking terrible partners because you are so scared of being alone. You can't expect people to know your worth when you don't even know your worth. And being alone is healthy sometimes. Being alone is a good thing. You get to know yourself. You get to know who you are. Sometimes women tend to get in relationships and become a shadow of the person that they're dating. They start picking up the same habits, the same way that they talk, and they mold themselves into each relationship that they get into for that guy, and they lose themselves by each relationship slowly but surely, and then they don't even know who they are in the end. So I think being alone and single is very important. And it's also healthy to be alone. You can't always be with somebody 24/7. You have to have your own time to yourself. And I think it's very healthy, even when in a relationship, that the two parties have their own things that they do outside of their relationship, hanging with your girls, hanging with the guys, taking vacations, and just doing things separately away from each other. I think spending too much time with your partner can be unhealthy or can sometimes cause a strain in the relationship because you are spending too much time with one another. Before getting in a relationship, you had your friends, you did your own thing, and I think it's very important to take that time out in your relationship. Granted, when the relationship is new, you're in the honeymoon phase and you're always with each other, but I think that it is very important and healthy to also still have your girls' night out, guys' night out, and hang out with your friends, or even by yourself, because you get to know who you are, what you like, and what you will and won't tolerate. Not what society tells you that you should tolerate or what other people say you should put up with, but what you can handle and what you will put up with in your self-worth and your worth. And that was what Robin needed. She needed time to get to know herself and love on herself and truly appreciate all that she had to give, because she had a lot to give. I think she was loving. She was a good friend. She was a writer for her friends. But I just think that she was always putting men above her and their needs above her, that she got lost when it came to doing things for Robin and making sure Robin thrives and Robin is getting all of the things that she needs. Robin deserved so much better than what she got from those bum men that she was with. But sometimes you don't pick good men because you don't really think that highly of yourself at the time, so you don't really choose a good partner. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Let me know below what other characters you guys would like for me to break down next. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next one.